Yesterday, we got the news Bill Pulte is coming in for Tulsi Gabbard. That, my friends, is freaking the right people out. Now, I also have people writing me about how Bill Pulte is not necessarily a great guy and stuff in his past, and I totally understand that, and I'm open to that. I really am. Maybe he does have some checkered stuff in his past. I don't know well enough. I haven't researched the dude, but I can tell you this. The right people are angry right now. And that's something that I always pay attention to. And right now we have Senate Democrats moving to have John Thune force out Pulte. Listen to this.
What's a target of the administration is getting the American dream back on track after 4 years of Joe Biden destroying the housing market. The good news is we have a builder-in-chief, not just a commander-in-chief. He understands the real estate market. He understands the importance of keeping home prices high, but at the same time making it so that way people can finally afford a home again. You know, during Biden's term of 4 years, you had massive inflation. Mortgage rates went through the roof. Nobody could afford a home. And the only people who could afford a home were these big corporations with balance sheets. So it's time that corporations stop owning these homes and people start owning and living in these homes as nature intended.
So that's Pulte, and, you know, all about the mortgages and understanding Fannie and Freddie and getting it back to the people. And yet he puts him in charge of OD&I, which means he's in charge of all the intelligence agencies now. And they're threatening now to hold up FISA over it because they don't like this guy. And I'll tell you right now, it has nothing to do with his past. You know how I know that? Because they already confirmed him for this role, the federal housing role. He's confirmed. So his past isn't why they're mad. So why are they upset? Well, Tom Luongo has an interesting point here. This is a very, very big deal, he says, about Pulte. It's literally pointing directly at what's been going on at FHA for the past 18 months. You want receipts? You want signal? I've said so many times, Trump stands up to one venue to draw the fire to him, while those in the agencies where the fraud are work in the background without much scrutiny. So those in the agencies where the fraud are work in the background without much scrutiny. Here's another layer of proof. And I agree with him. Some big is happening with this Pulte thing. Truthhammer writes this: as an accountant trained in audit design, I'm excited to see the man who knows about all the mortgages and finances having access to connect the dots across intelligence files. Let's find out who can't explain their money. Purging the intelligence, purging the deep state, those people who the corrupt politicians, the funding to NGOs. You put this guy in charge? It's interesting. This is a great breakdown. Trump moved the man who's seen every mortgage, every bank record, every financial transaction of his enemies into the chair that controls all 18 intelligence agencies. Pulte, head of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, man who oversees every home loan in America. Media's laughing. Housing guy running intelligence. They think it's incompetence. They don't understand what just happened. For 18 months, Pulte had access to mortgage files of sitting congressmen. Just like Elliot Ness getting Al Capone over taxes, there's different ways to take out snakes. Exposed fraudulent property claims by political operatives, opened investigations into financial records supposed to stay buried. One congressman filed a federal complaint last week claiming Pulte accessed his confidential mortgage files without authorization, and he didn't deny it. Now that man sits above the CIA, above the NSA, above the FBI, above every classified database in the United States. A man who already knows where they live, what they own, who paid for it, and which names are on the deeds, now has access to where they travel, who they call, and what they hide. Tulsi didn't leave because of her husband. She left because her part was finished. And that's debatable, but maybe it's true. Trump reshuffling the deck, getting ready for the next phase. Makes sense, right? Intelligence community has been restructured from the inside. Next phase does not require a diplomat. It requires a forensic accountant with top secret clearance. And I'll add this. If he is kind of a dick, if he's kind of a jerk, well, but he's a bulldog and he's MAGA, and he won't be afraid of taking people on and making some messes. And I'm okay with that. So this is one way of looking at it. And again, all the right people are scared. Democrats trying to get John Thune to force him out. Why be if he's a joke? If he's a joke, wouldn't you want him to stay? Wouldn't you want him to stay to make Trump look bad? Wouldn't you want incompetence? They seem to celebrate it at every other turn. But this guy on day one, attack, get him out? That looks like panic to me, friends. And Mark Warner told John Thune, if he's in the job, threatening to withhold their votes for FISA. Interesting. Maybe Trump's okay with that? Here's Tom Tillis, the rhino who has been kicked out and is no longer running because he just gave up his seat as soon as he saw Trump was going to primary him because he's a wuss. Here's him talking about Pulte.
He seems to be doing okay in the current role. I don't believe he's ever had a security clearance. He clearly has no experience in intelligence. He has no geopolitical experience, no international connections, the sorts of things you would look for. He's a far cry from Dan Coates, but he's got a structural problem. He simply doesn't have 51 votes on the Senate floor, and he may not even have the votes in Intel Committee, and we just need to tell the president that clearly. Now, we'll also tell you, whoever told the president to go ahead and commit to this publicly before vetting it should lose their jobs, because they should know that the math just works against Pulte being confirmed.
You hear that panic? Oh, he can't get confirmed. Trump should have known that. Trump should fire the guy who told him Pulte. You think Trump just randomly appointed Pulte because somebody was like, Bill Pulte should be ODNI? And Trump's like, okay. Yeah, I don't think so. But Till is trying to make the point that he won't get confirmed, and that's why he shouldn't be appointed. But what does that matter? Maybe Trump doesn't need him to be confirmed. Maybe he just needs him to serve for his 200 plus days, his 6+ months he can automatically have right now. Yeah, that's how it works, friends. 6 months leading up to the midterms to maybe have Pulte wreck and shop. These people are clearly panicked.
Someone could have told the president that.
What's that?
Someone could have told the president that, and it still happened.
That may be true, but then it's on the president. But hopefully somebody was out there saying, look, boss, we've done the math. He doesn't have a path. He may not even have a path through the committee, let alone any one vote.
But they'll do the acting thing. I don't think they care. Do they?
Well, I don't think the job will be taken seriously. Radcliffe is the tallest pole in the intelligence tent anyway.
Right.
I think that's one of the
now they're trying to demean him. Well, he just won't be taken seriously. Okay, it's a pretty serious role. Not up to you. Here's more panic over Pulte.
President just announced it.
My understanding is the Senate doesn't have a role in confirmation of an acting director, but
would you like a role?
I see no evidence of any qualifications for that job.
Well, we don't need a weaponized DNI. We need professionals. If he's somebody that wanted that position permanently, he's got, as you all know, a lengthy road ahead of him.
I love how they're all trying to make it about the fact he won't get confirmed when that doesn't matter. He's acting as it right now.
We have 4 more weeks with Director Gabbard as the DNI, and I look forward to implementing last year's Intelligence Authorization Act with her to implement wide-ranging reforms that will shrink the DNI and take it back to its original.
Do you hear that? He wants Gabbard to shrink Director of National Intelligence role before Pulte comes in. They are very scared.
Intent to provide a mere coordinator or process role for the intelligence community. I have no observations on the matter.
He has no observations on the matter of Pulte's appointment. That's Republican.
Even they were laughing about it.
He has no observations on the matter of Pulte's appointment.
They are scared. They are scared. But as Brian Cates says, they can't block it. He's acting. It's like they couldn't block Todd Blanche. Pulte's going to get the 210 days. It's a long time, friends. That's 7 months. And these whining pricks can't do anything about it except whine at President Trump about his awful choice, and Trump will laugh and his faces tell them pass the SAVE Act already. The Senate, man, they are on full blast. These pathetic losers. Absolutely pathetic. So all the right people are scared about Pulte. And I'm going to take that as a real good thing, guys, as a real good thing. Now, speaking of confirmation, I just wanted to share this real quick about Democrats, what they had to say about Pulte. And this might be my favorite moment of Speaker Johnson's whole career.
On FISA, first of all, I don't think he said it's interim. It's an acting role, but he's not said that he's going to appoint somebody. So I don't think.
Well, acting is interim by definition,
always,
right?
But
Okay.
let's if Democrats are.
Did you see Johnson's smile right there? See, Johnson, Johnson's got a lot of crap. And I think when Johnson came into the role as House Speaker under Biden, he was green. He wasn't ready. I think he just got thrown in. It was unexpected. There was a lot of fighting going on, and they settled on Johnson he wasn't ready. And that's why he got steamrolled a couple times. But since Trump has come in, Speaker Johnson's been amazing. He has gone past almost everything Trump wanted with 3 to 5 votes. That's all he could lose. And he's gotten it passed. He's gotten it done. He got the one big beautiful bill done. He's got a lot of stuff passed. The Senate is where it's all gone to die, not the House. Johnson keeps getting it done. I think Johnson is full MAGA. And that smile, knowing Pulte's coming in, asked about Pulte. I mean, just again, watch the response and then the smile.
Right?
But
Okay.
let's if Democrats are not.
He's chuckling. He's chuckling. Johnson's been awesome for Trump. And so whatever you think about him on a personal level, he's been amazing since Trump came in. He's been one of the strongest, most effective leaders of the House ever. And there's no debating it. What he's accomplished with just a 5-seat majority and several of those betraying him, like Massey or Marjorie Taylor Greene dumping out. He's had times where he had only a 1-seat majority because of the defections and because of retirements. And yet he still gets it done. It's incredible. It's incredible. Anybody who knows their history of Speaker of the House, he's one of the best we've ever had. And he started bad, but he's been amazing since Trump came in.
Not going to. They say they don't trust. They said they didn't trust Gabbard, and they've said they don't trust Pulte. Could you pass FISA without Democrats? The answer.
The Democrats wouldn't trust Jesus.
He hasn't been nominated.
There's not a single person. He hasn't been nominated.
But I mean, how do you handle this if you can't?
That is one of the best lines I've heard in a while. The Democrats wouldn't trust Jesus. Now that's great. That's good stuff.
Yet, if you can't have Democratic votes.
They're playing political games, Jake. The Democrats are not willing to do anything, even the most simple, basic, important responsibility to keep the American people safe, because they want to make life hard for the president. TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. I don't know how else to explain that. I don't think, I can't think of a single person that they would willingly go along with right now. That's where they are. And so it is a constitutional crisis, really, in one sense, because when you have a party whose sole objective every day is to stop the president, wreck the administration, make his life miserable, not go along with any of his appointments or any of his agenda, it creates a real crisis.
Think about this. Think about what he deals with, where he has an entire side completely in unison, fighting him on everything. There is literally no bipartisanship right now. There's no working across the aisle. It's just stopped because the Democrats are crazy. And with that, with not being able to pick out any Democrats, he's been able to keep the House in line to pass stuff over and over again for Trump. That's incredible, folks. It's incredible. So Johnson deserves our credit, but he also deserves credit for that Jesus line. That was unbelievable.
Jake, the Democrats are not willing to do anything. He hasn't been nominated.
FISA without Democrats? The answer.
The Democrats wouldn't trust Jesus.
So good. I'll be honest. I like Johnson more every day. He's really won me over. Now, another guy I'm liking more and more every day is this Markwayne Mullin. He is on in a committee hearing today, getting grilled over DHS, and this is his opening statement. I want to play it a little bit because I think it's important to hear everything they're accomplishing, and also hear it from him, who's taken over for Kirsty Noem, who he's just crushing it right now.
Chairman, and thank you for this opportunity to be in front of you. I sometimes wish that the members had to get sworn in too, so what they said would be true and factual as well, because what the ranking member just said about in his opening statement, I feel like I have to address because I'm just not sure I'll have the opportunity to do that. So first of all, I do thank you, Chairman, for allowing me to be here today. Ranking member, thank you, and thank you for allowing the Undersecretary Troy Egger to be here with me. I do have an opening statement. I'll send it for the record. But too often when we see opening statements, it's about making a statement. And I you know, the false statements that were made, I feel like I just have to address. I mean, when you start talking about the reckless war in Iran, what's reckless is a nuclear Iran. For 49 years, they've been threatening to death to America.
Remember, this guy was just one of them. Okay, that's why he sailed through so easy. He knows exactly how they work. Let me skip ahead a little bit because we don't need to hear the Iran stuff.
Something that is actually racism. It's just a term. Protesters and racism. The racism's a reckless term that is thrown around way too often.
Yep.
It's just it's thrown around like it is true, and yet you can't point to something that is actually racism. It's just a term when you lack the words to actually describe your hatred towards President Trump, so you just use racism. And what's bad is you feed in to what's causing our ICE agents that simply enforcing the law that Congress passed. They're not going outside the law, they're enforcing the law that Congress passed. We don't pick and choose which law we decide to enforce. We enforce the law.
Mm-hmm. This guy's good.
And because they're doing so, it's racism. But yet their death threats are up by 8,000%. Vehicular damage is up 3,300%. Assaults up 1,300%. And what's that do from? Peaceful protest? I have nothing wrong. I have no problem with people peacefully protesting. I believe in our First Amendment. Peacefully. Delaney Hall, I've had officers bit, hit, scratched. We had one get threatened that they were going to kill him and his family. That's peaceful. Damaging vehicles and property, that's peaceful. It's interesting when the governor finally put state police there, how often you guys quit saying that it was being agitated by ICE, but yet the same behavior was happening with the state police until they pushed them back far enough where they're out of camera shot, and all of a sudden the left media quit covering it. That didn't look like peaceful protest to me. I'm okay with protest in a peaceful manner. You're talking about Trump's reckless behavior. What's reckless is shutting down CBP and ICE. CBP, Customs and Border Protection. You want open borders? Because Ranking Thompson, I'm pretty sure you already said you're willing to shut them down again September design team and target them and defund them. Behavior towards children? Yet,
right here.
That's reckless. You're talking about President Trump's ill behavior towards children? Yet we have found over 120,000 kids that were missing underneath the Trump administration when they lost touch of 340,000, which we fear most are now in trafficking rings.
120,000 children found out of 340,000 lost by Biden, most believed to be in trafficking rings. These are important things. This is for everybody. Again, the Epstein class, we're saving the kids.
I didn't hear anybody complaining about that. What we've done under the Trump administration is we went and rescued these kids. What is inhumane about that? Nothing. He's doing the job that Biden administration turned a blind eye to. That shouldn't ever take place. If anything we can agree on, our kids should be watched over. Now, I do look forward to answering all the rest of the questions because I'm running out of time and I won't have time to go through all the ridiculous.
All right. So just very powerful. You see who this guy is. Okay. I feel like you got a really good glimpse of who this guy is here. And I had to share this too. Look at this exchange he had with this guy is such a joke, this Thanadar guy. But anyways, here's Markwayne Mullin ripping him a new one.
Concerns that your post will motivate white supremacist violence. When will you stop DHS from using its social media accounts to spread bigoted and racist words and imagery promoting great replacement theory?
It's interesting how you make those claims and give no facts, but yet your party's the one that's supporting the guy that's got a Nazi tattoo.
I have the facts. I have.
Unbelievable. So good. Your party's the one supporting the guy with the Nazi tattoo. So good.
The facts, sir.
No, there is no facts. You throw out nationalism, Nazism, and that's exactly what causes the hatred and the violence that happens to our officers every single day. And you should be ashamed of using that.
Well, look, no, it's not my words.
It is your words.
Look here.
It is your words.
Here is Colorado
Did you
Fusion
endorse the
Center.
candidate in Maine?
Here is Colorado.
Did you endorse the candidate in Maine? That's a Nazi.
Let me reclaim my time, sir. Colorado Fusion Center says ICE white nationalist messaging could lead to violence. There is just numerous reports.
Who said that? Who said that? And what is they actually?
This is Colorado Fusion Center.
Yeah, tell me exactly what message you're talking about. Now, don't give me some poll that is ran by the left is talking about.
Let me
specific
let me
details
reclaim my time.
DHS said, yeah, you don't want to talk about it but you want to throw out racism all the time to my
Mr.
apartment.
Secretary,
Is it true?
Mr.
So good, man. He's a fighter. Absolutely love him. But that guy is such a moron. He cares about all these people, the racism, but this guy, he famously killed dozens and dozens of puppies, allowing them to stay in a facility and pass away. Yeah, he's a hateful person. So Trump just passed this, going back to going back to immigration. Now, this was huge. So there's a new Trump just truthed this out the other day, but about shutting down the banking of illegal immigrants, which is going to force a lot of them to go. They want to be able to access funds. So in this, it says to debank the illegals, funds will ultimately face impoundment and seizure. They can be returned to taxpayers. It's not ludicrous, but profoundly dangerous. Any illegal alien can simply present a blue state driver's license, Biden border document, have unrestricted access to U.S. financial system. I recently signed a new executive order, which will be led by the Treasury Department to stop banks, credit cards, financial institutions from being used to facilitate human smuggling, drug trafficking, illegal immigration, and criminal cartels who orchestrate these activities. Trump is bleeding out the cartels. For everybody's like, nothing's happening. This is a big deal. It's a BFG or BFD. Access to our nation's financial systems must be limited to those who have a legal right to be here, engage in lawful and legitimate commerce. Bank accounts being used to enable illegal immigration or to store welfare received by illegal aliens will be shut down. That is a scary thought to the banks. This sends a clear message to anti-ICE rioters. Anti-ICE rioters, your violent disruptions only strengthen our resolve. Listen to that. That is a big line right there, folks. Big line. My executive order will also allow us to stop billions in leaving our country and all manner of criminal activity. It's been said this measure we're taking is the most effective means of reversing Biden's border invasion. We'll find out. Listen, the Trump administration is so smart, okay? So smart. Because one of the big attacks on them is that we're not mass deporting. We'll never be able to get them out at this rate. We've only deported 1 million people so far. First of all, between self-deportations and deportations is almost 4 million now in just over a year. And it's ramping up because of all the new ICE agents. But also the Trump administration is not just interested in deporting. They are interested in making it impossible to live here if you're illegal. And by doing that, they will filter out millions because they can't stay here anymore. No welfare benefits, no financial institution will take your check, give you money. They're going to make it so the illegals can't stay. And that is even more effective. It's also less violent and won't be in front of the cameras. It's a better way to do it while also carrying out the deportations on the people who are more violent or more obvious. This is brilliant. And it just shows you, for everybody complaining that the Trump administration is smarter than we are, they are way smarter, because this kind of stuff's brilliant. Now, here's Besant, a quick comment on it.
Look, we know that these rats will turn on each other. We heard today that one of the people who has been convicted of fraud, she was given $200,000 to bribe a juror, and she was so corrupt she skimmed $80,000 of it and only tried to give a $120,000 bribe. So we are going to offer whistleblower payments.
The rats will turn on each other. I love it.
To anyone who wants to tell us the who, what, when, where, and how this fraud has been done. And I think that will give us a great leap forward on how to get it done.
So this is what they're doing. It's the financial war. It's always the finances. It's absolutely brilliant. So they're cleaning up. Pulte is going after the deep state. That's pretty clear. We got immigration getting cleared up. The deportation stuff is just getting smarter and smarter and pushing them out. And now he's still working on cleaning up the elections. Here's the latest on that with this Miranda Devine interview.
We're the most successful country anywhere.
So someone has to be punished, though, for that. So how do you do that?
Well, I don't
have
want
to punish them all.
Yeah, I know. I'd rather not get into it, but
are you confident something will happen?
I don't want to talk about it, but let's see what happens. The election was rigged. We know who rigged the election. We know it. We know everything now. You know, we have information that nobody thought was possible, but when you get to office, all of a sudden people start giving you things. You know, it was I'll tell you, 2024 was a great election. That was a lot. There's a lot of rigging going on there too. Because you know what? I won in a landslide, but there were areas that were just rigged. I could see it. In other words, rigged against me.
Yeah.
So 2020, again, it's always going back to there. And he just told us 2024 was rigged. And he also told us we have everything. It's amazing what happens when you get in office. They start giving you things. But then when asked, somebody's going to be punished, he said, I don't want to talk about that right now. That tells me something's close, guys. That tells me something's close. So will they go full all the way on to it? Like go full ham on this before the midterms? I don't know. That is the question. But whether or not it's being dealt with, I think that is obvious at this point. And here's another sign. Kurt Olson joining Joe DiGenova's team. This guy leading Trump administration's election integrity effort, including re-examining Trump's 2020 defeat, investigating disproven vote rigging theories as a special government employee with the White House. And then the headline, of course, Trump 2020 election denier Kurt Olson joins the Justice Department. Yeah, they're bringing him in. The guys who know, the guys who've been doing the work are coming in to the Justice Department now. They're building it up as the grand juries are going, and right as Tulsi is getting ready to leave and might be dropping bombs in this next month, we're seeing the chess pieces put in place. And then we're still getting the fraud cleanup. Here's John Solomon talking about what Lee Zeldin is now doing. Listen to this one.
Now, one more piece of accountability before I turn things over to my amazing co-host Amanda Head. Today, I interviewed Lee Zeldin, the EPA chief, and he said that he's been digging into that $29 billion in green energy grants that he blocked, money that he saved the American taxpayers. It was going out the door at the end.
$29 billion was scheduled by the Biden administration to go out and was blocked. It was already scheduled. They'd already passed it. It was supposed to go out. It was one of their last big, here you go, last big payoffs before the Trump administration could get going. But they got in soon enough to block it. And now they're investigating it. This is huge.
The end of the Biden administration. He told me today he has found a major self-dealing scandal. In other words, Obama and Biden administration officials were moving money around.
Did you hear that? He slipped up there. He said Obama or Biden administration officials. He knows he was really controlling the Biden administration.
To former cabinet secretaries, to donors, to political activists. Stacey Abrams, one of them. We know about that from our reporting earlier this year. And that he's now made several criminal referrals. Go check out that story.
criminal referrals.
Tomorrow morning at justthenews.com. We'll have all the details, all of the.
Let me back up real quick. Do you hear what he said? The criminal referrals. He tells us who some of these people were.
Former cabinet secretaries to donors to political activists. Stacey Abrams, one of them. We know about that.
Cabinet secretaries, donors, activists. We're all going to get kickbacks. $29 billion.
From our reporting earlier this year. And that he's now made several criminal referrals. Go check out that story.
All right. So, it's stuff's happening, folks. It's happening. Remember, you build it all up. You work behind the scenes. You build the cases. And then it's like it happens all at once. It's getting good. It's getting good. And then Trump asked about Todd Blanche. Well, Todd Blanche has been absolutely crushing it. And it looks like he might be with us a while. Listen to this.
Todd's doing a very good job at DOJ.
Will he be Attorney General, or have you decided?
I think he will, yeah.
You haven't got someone else in mind?
No.
Not Ron DeSantis?
I wanted to see how he's received. We put him as acting, and he's done a very good job. But I've known him a long time.
Someone mentioned Ron DeSantis might be in.
See how she's pushing the DeSantis thing? She's trying to get an answer on this. And what did I tell you guys? Trump is not thinking about DeSantis for AG. We talked about this, 2 days ago? But Trump doesn't trust DeSantis enough to have him that close, although he's about to say some very nice things about DeSantis. But Blanche is the guy, and I think he's always been the guy, but Trump was going to do it in this way. Let Bondi come in first, clean up, and then bring the bulldog in. Remember, Blanche was Trump's personal attorney. He knows him well.
The mix to be Attorney General.
No, Ron's very good. Ron's very good. People have thought of different names. There are some good names. No, I had never thought. Ron never talked about it. He's a governor doing a good job. But Ron's good. He's a friend of mine. Just named an airport after me. They named the Palm Beach International Airport. The president, Donald J. Trump.
Well, you use it all the time.
International Airport. Yeah. So that's a great honor. Yeah. No, there are a lot of great people. The Republican Party, we have great people.
So are you happy with the pace of what the Department of Justice is doing? There's so much trying to find out.
Well, much more so now than at the beginning.
Yeah.
They are, there's a lot of things going on right now.
There's a lot of problems inside.
Look, we had a rigged election. Todd's doing a very good job.
He goes on to talk about how the Justice Department was full of bad people and they had to clear them out. So he basically admits to what Bondi was doing. And then finally, he came out with this just this morning. This from the White House from 2 hours ago.
From the very first day I took office, our administration has waged the most successful war on crime in American history. Last year, the murder rate saw the single largest decline ever recorded, falling to the lowest level in 125 years. We've reduced the fentanyl coming across our border by 60%, from Washington to Memphis to New Orleans to our southern border. We are restoring law and order to America. Now we're taking our next big step to defend public safety in America. At my direction, the Department of Justice is beginning what we're calling the Model Cities Initiative to slash violent crime in major metropolitan areas all across our country. In selected cities, the Department of Justice will provide $300 million in grants to hire police officers, modernize equipment, provide training, and improve law enforcement. This historic funding will go to confronting substance abuse, preventing youth crime, and combating repeat offenders. In short, we're committed to making historic investments in improving the quality of life of city residents nationwide. For the next 90 days, any city or local government representing a population of more than 100,000 people can apply to take part in this exciting new program. It's amazing. Tell your local representatives to apply now by going to www.justice.gov/grants. With your help, we will put more police on our streets, and we will put dangerous criminals behind bars where they belong, and we want to keep them there. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. You're amazing people.
I love how he closes it. This is big. So the Trump administration just outright admitted It is cracking down time. So we're going after the regular crime, but when people feel safe, they notice clean streets. That's a big wake-up call to people. All in time for the midterm. So now you're going to get the economy starting to turn around. Things are going to feel safer. And as people start feeling safer, they start feeling more okay when somebody maybe famous gets indicted, somebody they like or did like gets busted. You see how they're just timing everything. It all makes sense. Like the chess pieces just keep coming in order. And interesting, Trump announced this the first week of June. First week of June is very, very interesting timing. So again, I just feel like we're seeing everything come in order. Everybody's been waiting for arrests, waiting for justice. Guys, it's pretty clear we're heading in that direction. So hang in there. The Trump administration is not messing around. I'm very thrilled about what we're seeing.